I have been the owner of this 4th gen Mazda 3 for about a few months now, and I have a few things to say about it. Now, don't get me wrong, ever since I was a kid, I dreamed of getting a Japanese car. I've been obsessed with Japanese cars. Now, I don't have the cash to go for a retro Japanese car like a JDM, but I needed something that I can daily drive reliably, and something that looks good, something that's modern. And I have been scouting for quite a while before I pulled the trigger on this. Like I said, I'm happy with my purchase, but however, no car is perfect, so I am gonna list a few things that I don't like about it. We're just gonna start off with what you touch literally every time you hop into the car: the seats and the steering wheel. Now, these are the leather seats. They're optional, but I don't know if it's just me or if it's my seat placement, but after 2 to 3 hours of driving outside of the city, I tend to get some pain in my lumbar area. I pushed the lumbar setting like all the way up, pushed up, so that it supports it, but I still have that issue. So that's one thing I don't like about the seats. One thing I do like about the seats though is they look amazing. Even the front seats, which have been used for quite a while now. For context, just a little parenthesis, this car is a 4th gen 2020 Mazda 3 with a 2.0 liter petrol engine. It's the Skyactiv X with 186 horsepower, and it has 134,000 kilometers on the odometer. Now that's about 65,000 miles, 70,000 miles, I'm not sure. Perhaps I'll put it right down below. But yeah, back to the seats. They show no wear and tear. Like, this is quite a bit of mileage for a petrol car. And it's a 6-year-old car now. It's quite a lot of mileage. But these show, aside from getting a bit glossy compared to when they were right out of the factory, when they were like matte, they're not glossy because all of the oils from the skin. Aside from that, not much wear and tear besides a few creases. Like, that's great. And not to mention the back seats, they're flawless. I don't know what, perhaps the first owner, I'm the second owner of this car, but the first owner must have not had anyone in the back seat. They look like they just came out of the factory. That's amazing. Now the adjustments, they're electric for the driver only. The passenger has to adjust the seat manually, which is not much of an inconvenience for me, but my girlfriend complained about it one time. Not that big of a deal. Yeah, seats, they get a pass. They're good. Now the steering wheel, Mazda coats this steering wheel in leather. However, this type of leather they use gets really glossy over time. And I need to mention that the previous owner replaced the steering wheel because it was chipping and cracking really badly. And this is the second steering wheel, and it shows a lot of cracks, especially right here at the top, perhaps from the sun. And there are quite a few chips and scratches here at the bottom too, but not quite the quality you expect from these new Mazdas, especially from what you've heard about them. They do this cheap luxury thing where they offer quite a lot of bang for the buck at this price range, which is true, but you can see where they cut some corners. But yeah, the steering wheel, aside from chipping and cracking pretty badly, no complaints about it. One more thing, these buttons, it was a bit difficult to get used to them, because you have to click up, click down. I haven't driven that many cars yet, but I have driven an older Audi. It was a 2006, and it had a little wheel for the volume, and I enjoyed that. I mean, it's quite a lot more intuitive than clicking up this button. Sometimes you miss the click, or yeah, I know, it's just my preference. But the steering wheel overall looks great. It's fantastic, and it's ergonomic. Now moving on, this is a 6-speed automatic transmission. I had to do a transmission reset. I reset the gearbox. There are a few tutorials online where you have to do this sequence or pattern of shifting into certain gear and leaving it there for 5 seconds and so on. And if you do it right while holding the brake really hard, you start to feel the car going through all of its clutches and basically resetting itself as if it came from the factory. And this helps when you feel the car basically jerking you back and forth, especially in low gears, first, second, and third. When decelerating that happens as well when decelerating. And after doing the reset, I have to say that it has been shifting a lot more smoothly in lower gears. This is the first time I took it on a long drive after resetting the transmission about 200 kilometers ago, and the higher gears still give me a bit of a recoil. We'll see how it develops. Perhaps it still needs to learn. Other than that, I like this gearbox. You can just slam it into manual, downshift once, twice, and it pulls. It pulls. It's quite enough power, really. It's not that fast of a car, but it gets you out of jams. It assists you when you're trying to overtake, and that's something nice to have. When I was shopping for this car, I was also looking at another Japanese car. I was looking at a Honda Civic, and I was pretty sure I was gonna get the Honda before I went to the dealership and decided to try out both the Civic and the 3. And hopping into the Civic is, I don't know, it just wasn't for me. It was a lot more rigid, and It was very, very plasticky. The interior on the Mazda 3 just completely stunned me when I got in the first time at the dealership, and I just knew that I'm gonna get the Mazda. It's a great interior. Really, this particular model has the Bose speakers. These speakers are amazing. Like, absolutely no distortion whatsoever. I've only had one tiny issue, like the day I got the car, I think, or the day after, where the passenger side speaker started buzzing or crackling a bit, but it got fixed by itself, and perhaps this was the vibrations from the road. Now, I wanted a petrol engine because I had a diesel in the past. My first car was an Opel. It was a 1.9 engine, diesel engine with 150 horsepower, and I was mostly city driving it, and it was just giving me a lot of trouble. And I know that diesel engines really don't like the diesel engines don't like when you city drive them too much. And I knew from that moment that my next car was gonna be a petrol, because I didn't want to deal anymore with having a DPF and the regeneration and having a turbo, and essentially I prefer spending more on gas every day rather than having an expensive fix once in a while. I'm more than happy with that. That's a trade-off I'm happy with. As I was saying about the increased consumption, now don't get the impression that this car is the most economical. As I said, it's the 2.0 186 petrol engine. It's really not that economical. In the city, I've done quite a few tanks in the city, and in the city I get 12 to 13 liters per 100 kilometers, which is quite a lot. And outside of the city, right now I did 140 kilometers, and I'm getting a 10 liter per 100 kilometers consumption, which is not that great considering I've been driving this with the cruise control on at mostly highway speeds. And so I was doing 110 with autopilot, and I was also doing 80 when I got off the highway. These are the speeds at which you sort of supposedly get good gas mileage. Not in this case, unfortunately. So that's something I'm also not happy with this car, the fuel consumption. Now, I've tried quite a few different methods to decrease my consumption, from changing my driving style to the one where you coast to the traffic light, and where you go just a bit over the speed you want to go. So let's say I want to go 50 kilometers an hour in the city. I'm gonna go 55 to 60 and then let it coast back down to 50. And it's helped me a bit, but not too much. I probably saved 1 to 2 liters per 100 kilometers. So yeah, I also don't like how thin the paint is. This car is black. This is the jet black mica version, and after you wash it, you're gonna be amazed by how the stone chips start to show up on the front of the hood. It completely took me by surprise. It's pretty bad. I now purchased some touch-up paint, and I plan on applying that. But yeah, it's pretty bad. And also, I don't know if it's a Mazda thing, but the plastics around the door, the plastics around the windows, the chrome ones, they start to come a bit off of the window, like perhaps from the sun. That's something I also noticed. Like you could see little bumps where they meet, where the pieces meet. Now the AC is great in this car. I've heard people say that the AC is quite subpar compared to other cars they've driven in this category, but it just blows cold air if you have the Freon. Like, it's no problem. It's 30 degrees outside right now, Celsius, and on the second speed, it's just nice in the car. One thing I don't like about it is that even when it's not on auto, the speed of the fan sometimes increases by itself, and I wasn't expecting that. Other than that, it's fine. Another thing about the AC which I don't like is you cannot turn the AC off for the passenger, let's say, or let's say I'm hot and I want the AC blowing in my face, but my girlfriend's cold in the passenger seat, and she wants to turn it off. Well, you can't. You just can't. You have to flip the fans downwards and away from you if you wanna stop it for the passenger side, or vice versa. And I had no idea I was gonna have this problem. It's not that big of a deal though. Now, another thing I don't like about it is the mirrors. You can see very well in the mirrors, but they have this thing where when you put the car in reverse and click this button right here for to adjust your mirror. When you click the button to adjust your mirror, it automatically goes down to allow you to see the curb better and not hit the curb or see the wall or whatever. Give you better visibility when doing your parking. If you turn the car off and forget to deselect this, and you leave the mirror facing downwards, it's gonna stay like that when the car turns back on. And if you put it in reverse after starting it again, it's gonna go down even further. So it's gonna save the position it was left in when you first turned off the car. So between myself driving it and my girlfriend driving it, I find myself adjusting the mirror position almost every time. Soft materials. The infotainment system. This little screen right here is so seamlessly and beautifully integrated into the dash. It's just a pleasure to look at. When driving, it just gives you exactly that bit of information you need from the GPS or which song is playing. I'm just gonna put some shots on the screen for you so you can see, but it's great. It also has a driver drowsiness detector camera for detecting driver fatigue. You can disable that. I disabled that because I don't want errors in my errors on my dash. It's quite configurable. Now this is the EU spec. It's the European spec, and I have found that you don't get some of the options in the infotainment settings, in the car settings, as you would get in a US spec car. I forgot what it was. Oh, it was the headlight adjustment. I noticed that my headlights are a bit pointed downwards, a bit too down for my preference. I would prefer them to be a bit just slightly more elevated. And I found a tutorial on YouTube on how to adjust that. However, I don't get this. I don't have that setting on mine. Maybe because it's a 2020. I'm not sure. Maybe they updated it throughout the years. Let me know. Let me know if you have a Mazda and if you have that feature. It's a satisfying car to be in, honestly. You don't get bombarded with information about what's going on. You get just enough. You're sitting in a comfortable cocoon, aside from, of course, driving for longer distances and getting that lumbar pain. But it's a nice car to be in, and I like that. And I was expecting that when purchasing this car, and I was expecting that from the moment I first got in a Mazda at the dealership. Now I went for the hatchback version. I think now I'm 26 years old. And I think the hatchback looks a bit more sporty, a bit more youngish, like for the younger people. I always looked at the sedan as like more of a family kind of car, and I wanted something sportier, a bit more. I think it looks more aggressive. I think it looks a bit better. I find myself looking back at the car every time I park it, and that's one indicator that tells you made the right choice when purchasing a car. Now, yeah, the suspension's good. I hear a lot of people complaining about the rear end having that torsion bar, and I don't know. You're not gonna notice it. You're not gonna notice it, honestly, if you're daily driving it. Just don't think about that. You're not gonna notice it. The suspension's good. It goes over speed bumps decently. I like the fact that it has a bird's eye view. It really helps when parking and going into tight spaces. Speaking of tight spaces, this car's turn radius is one more thing I don't like about it. From the day I got it, I found myself doing a lot of small maneuvers and repeated maneuvers trying to get it into a parking spot, and they were decently sized parking spots. I mean, I wasn't squeezing nowhere, but you have to do quite a bit of turning when parking this car, and when doing a U-turn perhaps. So you have to steer away from the corner when doing a U-turn to get more leverage. Yeah, that's something that mildly annoys me about this car. The headlights are great, aside from what I told you earlier about being a bit too low. It's not that big of a deal, but you can see really well at night. These are the LED matrix headlights, I think that's what they're called, and they're also adaptive. If you put them on auto, I think they're gonna cut out the car in front so that you don't blind them with the high beam. And I tried having the high beam on auto, and I didn't get flashed from in front, so I think it's working. That's the thing. That's the thing I like about it. Coming from older cars where visibility was almost always an issue with those halogen headlights, this is a game changer for me. But yeah, we're gonna wrap this up for now. Let me know in the comments if you own a Mazda. What have you noticed about it? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? How long have you had your Mazda for? Would you buy another Mazda after owning it for a longer period of time? Let me know. My name's Cosman. I'm gonna do car videos, and I'll see you next time. Peace.